Hello, everyone. My name is Charlie Donovan. I'm the Executive Director of the Center for Climate Finance and Investment at Imperial College Business School, and I'm a Professor of Practice in the Department of Finance at Imperial College London. And it's our great pleasure, as it has been in years past, to sponsor this Best Paper Prize in Climate Finance. This year, we have a great set of submissions. It's always heartening to see more and better submissions coming in on what used to be a very niche topic in sustainable finance, but it seems like every year is growing in importance. And we had the task of picking just one paper, and this year we have a really outstanding contribution. What I'd like to do first is to mention who the prize winners are, and then I'll invite them for a couple of questions highlighting exactly the aspects of their paper that we found most interesting. And so let me reverse the process by going right to the winners. So I'd like to welcome two individuals, Vincent Bouchet and Theo Le Guenedal, and commend them on a really excellent paper titled Credit Risk Sensitivity to Carbon Price. So gentlemen, congratulations for winning this year's Imperial College London Best Paper Prize on Climate Finance.
Thank you very much.
Let me ask a couple of questions as a way of kind of developing and helping the audience understand a little bit about your paper. So, we're at a huge inflection point in which banks and asset managers in the UK and in Europe are already working quite diligently now in order to try to map climate-related financial risks onto their investing activities. And your paper really speaks to this aspect of credit risk of clear importance to banks. And maybe you just talk us through a little bit how you have approached this. And one of the commendations from the reviewers was that you had a very complete view, that you had really captured all of the variables that will help comprise how carbon prices flow into credit risk. And so maybe you could just highlight the major elements of your methodological approach.
Okay, so thank you for this question. So one of our main points was we decided to adopt a bottom-up approach. The idea, I think there were mainly two reasons. The first is regarding the existing literature. We thought that there were many economic approaches taking a top-down approach, which is also very interesting, but more for macro-prudential regulators, for example. And as we are both working also for financial institutions, we had to develop a more bottom-up approach to be able to assess the credit risk at a counterparty level. So these two reasons, one regarding the existing literature, where we thought that most of the literature adopted a top-down approach, and the other reason was related to practitioners, where we thought as financial institutions and we needed this bottom-up approach to be able to assess the credit risk, to adjust the ratings of each counterparty.
And Theo, there's an aspect of the paper also that we've noticed that, rather than just thinking about 50 years into the future, there was a focus on the short term in terms of 5 years out. And there was also a recognition that firms are going to try and adapt. That's not just an entirely static view. And you hinted some interesting avenues for future research based upon this work. And maybe you could tell us a bit more about that.
Yes, thank you very much. Well, the idea of the methodology was to integrate the possibility for the price to change at a short or longer term. And we really wanted to set a simple methodology that can encompass a variation of the prices at any horizon or any scale, really dynamically, for allow the banks and users and practitioners to take in consideration the movement on the possible movement on these prices. So yes, the idea was really to set up a methodology which was truly able to take into account price variation at any terms. Also, one of the possibility that we can do in the future is to integrate some sector specificities, some geographical area prices, because we know that pricing differs from areas, and therefore this paper can be improved in many ways to integrate many sensitivities. So we would be very happy to discuss and to exchange our research with practitioners or academics. And so feel free to contact us about this paper. Thank you very much.
One of the things I really like about GRASFI and about the sort of interface that we're trying to cultivate here is to find some space in between what is the sort of pure academic and the sort of pure practitioner approaches. And while we didn't know it because we did this in a blind review, it was, I suppose, no surprise to me at the end to find out that you're both PhD students, but also practitioners working for a bank and asset manager. So we really appreciate and appreciate finding a paper that really reflects the spirit of trying to work at that interface. Let me say again to you, congratulations. Thanks for your great work. And let me ask if you have any kind of final comments you'd like to add before we close.
Okay, so yeah, as you said, this is between practitioners and academics, and I think the paper could not have been done without the support of both. So just on my side, I'd like to thank the Caisse des Dépôts group, and in particular, Elena Charrier, Nathalie Layani, and Florent Rebatel for all the discussions we had on this topic. And on the academic side, I also would like to thank my PhD supervisors, so Nicolas Motis and Patricia Prifot for all their availability. Thank you very much. And thank you again for all the organization and the committee for this prize. Thank you.
Yes, so on my side, I would like to thank Amundi Asset Management. I'm doing my PhD under supervision of Thierry Roncalli in Amundi Asset Management. So I would like to thank him because he supervises my work at Amundi, and to thank also all the members of the quantitative research team, as well as the institutional sales team that helped me to also exchange, and they give me many comments on this aspect. And on the academic side, I would like to thank Peter Tonkov also for his guidance and the many exchanges that we had on climate-related issues, and for his comments on this paper as well. So thank you, everyone, and thank you as well for the organization.
Gentlemen, well done, and it very much reflects, although your paper doesn't speak as much to the opportunity side of climate finance, it does get us to the very building block, which is understanding and quantifying risk in a way that can be priced in financial markets and ultimately rewarded for those that are willing to take it on. So well done, and to those out in the audience, we look forward to even more and even better submissions next year. Thank you very much.